We're shedding our masks and breaking down walls. Hell, we may even drop our drawers. That's right. We're going commando with Angela and Dana. Hi, my name is Dana Sardano, and this is Angela DeMarco, and we are Going Commando. Going Commando is just an opportunity for me and Angela to say whatever we want, and hopefully you'll appreciate that as we appreciate that in each other, and join us in the conversation. So, Miss Angela.
What's up, Miss Dana?
What's going on, girl?
Well, today's Memorial Day in New York, and it was all of the United States. But in my world, but I wanted to tell you, I went to the air show yesterday, and I love the air show. Like, I'm not a big America, but I just feel that way when I go to the air show. It's pretty fascinating. I mean, these people are so talented, and they're parachuting and doing all kinds of crazy shit. So. Yesterday we were there. I was with the kids and Dave. It was perfect beach day. It was just perfect. It was perfect. Everything went great and everyone was having fun. Christian got really cranky, and the showstopper are the Thunderbirds. They're like the warplanes, and like really fast and really, really loud. And I'm going to play a video because they're flying past us, and we're like, oh my God, Christian, you got to see this. And I go turn over, and he's like sound asleep. Like the ground shakes. That's how loud, how loud it was. But he just did not even budge. He woke up. He was like, everyone was packing up. He's like, what the fuck?
The power of the Diamond Burner 360.
But it was cool. And I was thinking about how I'm not a big, go war, go fight, go whatever, but you have all of these individual people who their families sacrifice, their loved ones being away. And, so it's like, I don't want to come across as military, good for you. But think about all the people that have to accommodate so that these people can do these jobs, right? And for whatever reason. And I was thinking about how much our work that we do, especially your work, like the personal empowerment and the feeling connected to yourself and being making yourself in the space for all of these people, for the people that are away, the work that we do on Uniquely You and the families that are behind and just trying to hold it together and be strong for these people. I wish there's some way that we could get some kind of government contract so that you can get all up in there and feel well, happy and whole while they're doing this service, because it was a big, one of the branches had 66,000 people deployed. That's 66,000 families affected.
Yeah. It's a different mindset too. I don't have any military, people in my family. I was going to say men, but it's not men. So I don't have any military people in my family, but my brother went to military school. He went to Admiral Farragut Academy. It's relatively prestigious military, naval academy. Prepares them to go to places like the Citadel and stuff like that when they graduate. And he was there from the 6th grade to the 12th grade. And it was amazing to me. There is a mindset in the military. There is a sense of pride and a sense of loyalty and honor. And everything about the family is about whoever it is that is in the military. Some people come from military families, but my brother, he was a cadet in that school. Remember, 6 years of his life, his entire adolescence, and everything was surrounded. The football game. Again, remember, it's not military; it's a school. But the football games and the parades and the events and the ceremonies, and you could see that it was about whoever it is. So when you have these families and you have the one person, the mother or the father, that goes away into the military, everything is about that. It's all a support system for that. So you just said 66,000 people deployed in just this one branch, but really multiply that by, on the average, 4.
Yeah.
Because it's not one person, it's the entire family that is connected to that. So it's a pretty profound insight that you've got there. And I totally agree with you.
Yeah. Yeah. If there are any military families that happen to be listening to this or know of anybody, we have classes that are, Dana's got these workshops on personal empowerment and your personal wellness, your personal happiness, and your personal sovereignty. And those kinds of things are really like can help you hold you together when times are really tough, like when you're missing somebody or you're stressed or you're just overstretched. Like having those moments where you can do some self-reflection for the work and for the children, even like there's just so much. So reach out to us and we'll accommodate you guys in any way we can because it's really important work.
Awesome. I'm glad you brought that up.
Thanks.
And thanks, man. So for those of you who are joining us for the first time, we have a deck of Soul Traveler cards of empowerment. Of empowerment. It's so funny because I'm co-creator in these cards and I'm like, I don't remember the name, but and basically they're all my artwork. I already put them back in the box, so I'm not going to spread them out for you. But on the back are the messages from our dear friend Anne-Marie Scorti, and on the front is my artwork and cover design by Angela DeMarco. So it is sincerely a collaborative effort among the three of us. I chose 3 cards today because I couldn't choose, and I'm going to have Angela pick the card. What's funny is they are like the 3 top billing of my heavy hitter, of my like badasses. You know what I mean? So, and the messages are all similar, but like I said, I couldn't choose. So I got Jersey, Megan, and Lucky.
Oh gosh. It's between Megan and Lucky.
So Jersey, but bad Jersey.
Bad Jersey. Yeah. All right. Let's go Lucky.
All right.
Let's go Lucky.
Okay. So this one's called The Work of Self-Discovery. It is a process to overcome the thought patterns of a lifetime. There are many layers. The seemingly most insignificant experience can have long-lasting, deep effects upon your psyche and perception of yourself. It requires courage to reject the accepted model of life and follow your intuition. It requires you to become the master of your thoughts and ideas. It requires you to do the difficult work of confronting the fear and pain which prevent you from being who you are. You are always being assisted, but in the end, it is in the hands of each individual to put forth the mental effort to transform. It takes work.
Nice. All right.
I like the fact that it definitely meshes with the point that you were making when we opened. And the other 2 cards, just to let you know, they're very similar. They were about, taking responsibility. But I would like to open with some comments on this because it's has to do with what you had said as well.
Yeah.
I've been thinking a lot lately about the fact that I have written these books, I do these workshops, I do this work, I do this intuitive guidance, and it's all about personal empowerment, right? And I get frustrated sometimes because I really, and I'll say it, I mean, it's a little embarrassing, but I'll say it, like, I have got gold here. Like,
you do.
The stuff that I do is so transformative if you're willing to do the work, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, where are all the people? Like, yeah, I work, but like, they should be coming in droves. Like, what's the problem? And here's what I'm coming to realize. When again, at night, when I'm just kind of winding down and I'm sifting through my phone and I'm looking at all my reels, I'm starting to see a transformation, a tipping point in people and the reels that I'm seeing. And I get a lot of it is like the stuff that is tailored to me based on what I watch, right? Like I see a lot of bunnies eating strawberries and a lot of, like fart videos. Like, that's the stuff that I like. But I'm seeing a lot of people beginning to question the authority, question what the general belief that we've been told, like rebel, really. A lot of people talking about, I don't want to get into the specifics because then it becomes political and religious and whatever, but really question what we've been fed, right? Programmed and all of that stuff. And what I'm realizing is people are just starting to be open to, wait a minute, I can't trust what I'm outsourcing. I can't trust the people I've entrusted. It could be as in the microcosm as my parents, right? As my peers. It could be in the macrocosm as our religious or political figures, whatever it is, right? People are starting to realize that. And now they're in a place of, shit, what do I do now? And now we come to realize that the only people we could truly, truly trust and have faith in is ourselves. And when we have trust and faith in ourselves and our own discernment and our own decision-making skills, then we are at peace. And then we could decide who we align with, then who we can trust outside of ourselves. But it starts with us. And that's what the work is. So it's really kind of cool because I'm starting to see the shift. You know, I'm like, what the hell? Where are all the people? Well, they weren't ready. And I've been told that too. They're not ready. And I'm like, I said they're ready. You know, no, they're not ready. But people have to be ready. People have to say, oh, I can't trust this. The only thing I have left is this. And that's where doing the work comes in. So I just had to spew that because it's been on my mind.
No, I'm glad you did, because I think that's really the hardest thing for people is, like, what is the work, right? Like you're saying, like, what is the work?
Yeah.
What does that mean? What does that mean? Because it's like, I'm doing all the things. I'm doing the stuff. I'm reading the books. I'm following the guru. I'm seeing the healer. I'm doing the church. I'm doing
I burnt my sage.
I walked in dirt. I'm doing everything, you know, like.
Yeah. Excuse me 1 second. It's a strategies too. It's a steps. So-and-so says, you know, Tony Robbins says you have to do 1, 2, 3, and 4. Wait, aren't there 4 agreements? Aren't there 7 habits of, you know, but it goes beyond those steps.
Yeah. I think and we always seem to do this, like, right? It's like really about what does it mean to embark on this journey of trusting yourself, right? And so the awareness is, yes, there are a lot of people who are like the curtains being lifted, and they're like, what the fuck is going on here? Right. and the problem is they don't want to be like, oh, it's too woo woo. I don't want to go woo woo. Like even when we talk about, like, we start with the cards, they're soul traveler. Like, we're talking about military, and then we go to cards about channeled messages, and the disconnect, like that fear, right? And the beauty of what you do is that you're a bridge. You're a bridge. You don't have to be woo woo to be enlightened and to trust yourself.
Do I look woo woo? You know what I mean? There's
I think that's the thing. Like, it's people fear, like, they don't know what's going on. Something's not right, but they don't want to go woo woo. Like, oh God, she's a psychic. She's too crazy. She's too weird. But it's not even about the psychics and the no offense to anybody's professions, by the way, because it's really fun when you use it for, you know, the right things. But it's really just this whole idea that we're sovereign beings. You know, we're put into this planet, and we're put into societies, and we're put into stations in life, and we're put into situations because this is like, you know, this is the experience that we want to have in this earth, right? Or overcome, or all these things. These are all good for the soul, right? All the harder things you go through, the more like advanced your soul is, right? And I think if you just are, something's not right, everything's weird, what's going on in the freaking world? That's too woo-woo over there. It's just like, wait. Stop and think about, what do you like? What do you believe? And I had to do this, and I'm relating this to when we talked about this last week, when we first like started becoming friends again, when you did the painting for me, and I was all up in the Trump and Biden bullshit. I know. But it was because I was listening to everybody telling me what to believe, and I didn't stop and say, wait, what do I believe to be true?
What feels right?
What feels right? None of this feels good. None of it. And then at one point there was, like, I think it was like a meme of Jim Carrey when he was like Dumb and Dumber or something, and he's like, and it's like Biden and Trump, and it was like,
I gotta tell you, this is my favorite. It's when they throw the spears at him, and he's like, yeah, it was one of my favorites.
It was just like, there was no good answer, but it was just being caught up in that, right?
Yeah,
and then the minute I was like, wait, I don't have to be caught up in this. Like, I can choose to find the information. I can choose to not, I don't have to partake in the drama, right? I can partake in the political part of it if I want to go cast my vote and do so responsibly, but I don't have to be all pissed off and bent out of shape about it.
Yeah.
And then it
Yeah.
started making, that opened the door to like, okay, well, what do I believe about this? What do I believe about
Yeah.
that?
Yep.
You know?
Yep. And then there's the opposite extreme for those who are caught up in the woo-woo or the metaphysical community. You know what I mean? There's what people call the conspiracy theories. And there's all the way on the other end of it. And it's really super extreme. And I was looking at that for a while too. And I was like, well, wait a minute. First of all, I don't want to feel icky because that's based in fear too. So here's my, in case anybody is listening and is like, yeah, but how do I know?
In case anyone is listening to our bullshit.
Just in case yes, I'm talking to you directly. Here's my go-to, like how I discern. In general, we just want to feel good. Right? Well, happy and whole is what I'm always saying, but we want to feel good. And we have to decide, does something make us feel good or not feel good? I make this every morning because it makes me feel good. Right? I had to get used to the taste, but it makes me feel good. And then now I'm eating things that are kind of like things that I would have loved before. That I'm like, it doesn't make me feel good. And then you make the decision, right? So when you're getting information, you just have to stop. How does this feel? Does this feel like it's instilling fear? If it's instilling fear, then maybe I should step back and say, why? Why is it instilling fear? Like, well, why do I want to feel fearful? Do I align with fear? And then really start to, how do I want to feel? And then it gets really deep. Well, I want to feel good. Well, then why do I keep myself? Why do I sabotage my feeling good? Do I feel worthy of feeling good? We can do this way. I mean, we could keep peeling back curtains. But really the simple barometer is, does it feel good? Does it feel scary? All right. We want to do more things that feel good and fewer things that feel scary.
Okay. So if someone gets to that point and they say, okay, no, this doesn't feel good. And then what do? What is the work?
Oh my God, they turn around and they run and they scream, fire. So I used to tell my kids, somebody asked you to pet their puppy, you just run and scream fire. Nobody hears help. So that's what you do. You turn around, you run, you scream fire. No, I'm kidding. So what's the work? The work comes in layers. So there's really no magic pill like, oh, this is what you do. But the first and foremost is just to recognize, you ready? I'm going to go full 10 recs on it. By now. No, but recognize that we all have an emotional guidance, right? Our emotions that we take for granted. Oh, we're sad. Oh, we're joyful. Oh, we're scared. We take them for granted, but really they're telling us what that information is. We all know I cry. I cry a lot. I cry often. I cry. The fact that I'm not crying right now is a big shock. I cry all the time. My kids make fun of me. My kids are 12 and 13. Everywhere we go, oh, mommy's crying again, right? I'm always crying, right? Nala just graduated the 8th grade and we went to the thing and I didn't know because I don't pay attention. I didn't know. I know she's in the choir. That much I know, but I didn't know that they were singing the national anthem. So all the kids walk in. There were like 300 of them. And I had my camera waiting for her to come in. As soon as she walked in, it started, right? Started to cry, right? And then everybody walked in, they sat down. And then I see like 10 or 12 kids get up and Nala's one of them. And the 8th graders who are graduating in the choir walk up to the front and they sing the national anthem. So, I was like, ah! Like, oh my God, like that first note, like happening, right? So I'm like shaking. Rob's like, oh, Jesus Christ, right? And I'm shaking. And so whatever. So now my heart hole is wide open, cried through the whole graduate, every name they called. I'm like, oh my God, he must be a sweet kid. Like cried through the whole thing. Even at the end, I brought Nala flowers and I turned around and Rob and Yaya saw my face and they were like, holy, you're pathetic, right? It was bad. Why am I telling you this? Well, it's hilarious, but I'm telling you this because I finally set the girls down and I'm like, do you know why mommy cries? And then, no. That's my impression of Nala, by the way. And I'm like, because I have so much gratitude. I have so much gratitude. I have gratitude for the life we've created. I have gratitude for your health. I have gratitude for through everything. And just gratitude for everything. And so when we have these moments that remind me of how much I have to be grateful for, I fall apart. Mm-hmm. So the more gratitude I have, and this is just my parlor trick. Like that's mine. Like everybody's got their own thing, but I cry, right? But that crying is a tell for me. Like when I cry, it's like, oh, it's a reminder. Oh, this is gratitude. Because I'm not thinking, oh, I'm grateful and I cry. I get overwhelmed, I cry, and I understand that because I've learned to recognize the emotion and then recognize the why of the emotion, right? Mm-hmm. Like, there's so many things. Like this morning, like I'm trying to like get ready because, it's Memorial Day and my family's home and I'm trying to get ready for Angela and I to do this. And I'm annoyed because usually I'm alone, right? And so Rob is like, "You're gonna wake up and all about," and I snapped at him, and I realized, and so he was like, "Why are you snapping at me?" And I'm like, "Oh, I have anxiety." Because I could have been, "You're annoying," which I opened with. Don't misunderstand.
The maturity is internal.
No, but I was like, oh, I have anxiety because I'm trying to beat the clock here, and I have different factors that are affecting what I'm doing. So I snapped at him. When I realized that, I was able to apologize in real time and not it fester into a whole thing. So my advice to people, first and foremost, would be recognize that your emotions are a guidance for you. And when you feel emotions, ask yourself those questions. Where are they coming from? Why am I acting this way? Why, what is happening here? And then you'll start to see when you recognize what your emotions are and where they come from, you could rectify certain things, but also it will help you in your relationships with people. And then it just grows from there. So that would be my first step.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Yeah. Cause it is about the awareness, right? Like we're just trying to shine a light on because this message is really about that it is up to you. You can sit in your dirty diaper as my old friend Kenny in the AA rooms used to say, "Oh, enjoy sitting in your dirty diaper." Or you can change the diaper and, it's but that the work really is then having that awareness and then doing something about it.
Well, that's the big one because it's easy to say, "I'm this way because." And that's where a lot of the work stops for people. And that's why 10 recs for me is so important.
Oh, Dana, I'm this way because I have ADD. I'm this way because my
mother never loved me.
Right.
I'm this way because my father was abusive. I'm this way because my brother was a jerkster. I'm this way because whatever it was,
and then stay that way. That's my excuse.
Stay that way. That's my reason. I have a reason. Right? Okay. Rob will say to me all the time, "I don't care about your root causes." I'm like, that's all it is you understand the why. That's great. But then you overcome that.
Yeah. You don't stick in the reason. You don't sit in the reason.
Yeah.
You sit in the reason, having the awareness that you're miserable, having the understanding of like maybe where that came from because you're miserable. And doing nothing about it is probably the worst place to be in.
Yes.
It's like having a toothache. You need to go to the dentist.
And you know why? Because I had too much sugar.
And and it hurts and it just keeps hurting and it gets worse and you take Tylenol and then eventually you have to get your tooth pulled and you're doing a whole like grafting thing and it becomes a whole thing until you handle it. And it gets worse and worse and worse. And when you have the awareness, all you think about is that toothache. Oh God. And it gets worse every time you bite on something and oh my God. And it gets worse and worse and worse.
Yep.
So we're shining a light on the things that make you feel like shit because that will motivate you to do the work.
Yep. And just for the record, that's recommendment 7, by the way. Throwing it out there.
Yeah.
But recommendment 7, I talk about the awareness and the willingness. There's one thing, great, you have the awareness, but if you're not willing to do anything and you have that resistance, that sucks. But then there's people out there that they're more than willing. They're like, "Put me in, coach," but they don't have no idea, no awareness on what to do and how to do it.
Right.
When you have awareness and willingness, you can move mountains. I was going to save this for the next one that we did, Megan, but I think it's a good way to punctuate this and then maybe close out. You cool with that?
Totally.
Take stock. Okay. Mm-hmm. Allow yourself to begin to engage your mind. Become aware of your surroundings. What is actually happening around you? What you have created. and what you are continuing to create. Know the results of your current circumstances are your doing, your creation. Take note. Are you pleased? Are you dissatisfied? Take stock and adjust accordingly with the knowledge you possess of the nature of your reality. There it is right there.
Perfect.
Right?
Way to wrap
Right?
it up. Really. Yeah, because that's what it's all about. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Take stock, do the work. And you know what's on the other side of doing the work? What's on the other side, Dane?
Mommy cries. Mommy cries.
This magical, beautiful life in this bubble. This bubble. It doesn't mean that the world stops running.
Oh, the world's still crashing and burning.
The world's crashing and burning, and you can still do the things that you're in control of that affect you and your world, but peace, joy, contentment, beautiful relationships, healthy children, healthy relationships with families, or walking away from unhealthy family and cutting ties that are holding you down. Like, there's so much gorgeousness on the other side of doing the work.
Yeah. And it's important to understand, you were saying the world could be crashing and burning and you're okay. Because when you do the work and you begin to become more sovereign being, have more peace, joy, and freedom, it doesn't mean that you don't get sad when something outside of you happens. It doesn't mean that you don't have compassion, but it means that you have the confidence and the faith in yourself and I wouldn't say the fearlessness, the courageousness that no matter what happens, you've got it together. You've got it. You've got this. No matter what comes my way, I'm like, I got this. Look behind me. Look at the 50 years plus years behind me. If I got that.
Seriously. Oh God. Okay. Yes. Well, the natives are getting restless here in the house. Everybody's home. So we'll wrap this one up and we'll see y'all next week.
Yeah. Thanks for coming.
Bye.
Oh God.
This episode is brought to you by Uniquely Phenom Collaboration. To learn about our tools and resources designed for creators by creators, go to uniquelyphenom.com.